episode here with the Struggling Hunters, episode 119 of our podcast episodes. Thanks for joining us. Got Eric over here.
Hey guys.
We got Joe right here that's doing the talking. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We really do appreciate it. Like we said, every show we welcome you to the Hunting Shack. We just sit down and just like to. Sometimes we have a decent topic, sometimes we don't. We always have an opinion, and we know they matter to us, and they may not matter to you, but they matter to us.
Sounds about right.
But anyways, yeah, like we enjoy sitting down and at least once a week and discussing some hunting topics and whatnot. But if you haven't, go back, check out our last episode. We discussed a little scouting trip, I guess you will. We went out, set up a trail camera, and did some shooting the bows, and we did a little vlog on YouTube that you can go back and watch.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good video, so make sure you go back and watch that. Trying to get that one to get some views. We're proud of it.
We kind of are.
Yeah, for real, we kind of are. It was just a fun day, and like filming it and running it back. It was like, that one felt good. We should do more of that.
Right. And but yeah, so I just wanted to. So we last episode kind of discuss some of that and go, I guess, kind of go off of, I don't know if you guys if you really care or not, but if you've been listening, my truck, I've been working on my truck for the last couple of months. Finally
it's
getting closer.
It's been the main topic of the Struggling Hunters podcast, actually.
And not on purpose. That's all by accident. That it's been the main topic.
Yeah.
Not that it's broke down, but anyways, still working on it. Had a couple more hurdles I had to get over this last week. Found out I thought a bolt was a bolt, but come to find out, cylinder head bolts are different bolts because once you torque them, they stretch, and then they're one-time use only. So you can't reuse them because they're stretched past, their tensile strength or whatever. So you don't want to put them back in because they're weak at that point, because you're going to stretch them again, and it's just going to make them weaker.
Right.
So you could just blow the heads off your truck.
That wouldn't be fun.
No.
Then you got to do all that over again.
Let's not talk about that.
But you're at your timing chain, right?
I got the timing chain on. So, yeah, timing chain's on and all the timing's set, at least according to books and what other people have done and the way I understand how to do it. My marks and everything were lined up, and so it should be timed.
So, if you want to catch our other YouTube channel, it's called The Struggling Garage.
That has some more sob stories than this Struggling Hunter one does. Yeah. I probably should have been recording some of that because I've reached some. I had some pretty low moments working on that truck, both on time and breaking things.
Oh, I bet. And then getting so far, getting in the middle of a rhythm, and then realize that you have to buy a new part or something, then it just stops your momentum and everything. Yeah, that would not be fun.
No, and I know we kind of joke about being not that great at hunters, but I don't know if I'm probably a worse mechanic working on my truck.
I think you kind of do what I do a little bit. Is I can get around mechanicking pretty well, but I just don't ever call myself a mechanic at all.
Correct.
I don't want to label myself.
Right, yeah, I don't want to label myself as a mechanic because, one, I don't want people like saying, hey, come work on my stuff.
Which they already do, right?
Every once in a while, I'll help someone out. But like, I'm really not a mechanic, and it's just all guesswork. When I work on my stuff, I try to, get all the information needed to make sure it's all correct. But I wouldn't want to do this for someone else.
Yeah, I hear you. That was always the hardest thing graduating high school. They're like, "Oh, you could be a mechanic." I'm like, "No, I don't want to work on cars." But just I don't know. I mean, there's a point that I like it, and there's a point that I like the problem solving and everything. But like doing it day in, day out, just I don't know. And I guess in some ways, there's there's perks and struggles with every job or whatever. But I don't know. For some reason, mechanicing, I'm like, I don't know, man. I seem to cuss quite a bit at my own truck. I don't want to cuss at everybody's truck.
Right.
So.
Right. But yeah, so I guess I don't know, share one low moment that I had.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear.
So I was putting in the chain tensioners or the chain guides, timing chain guides, rails, and I was bought brand new ones, putting them in. I go to like torque them down, snug them up, and I barely put any pressure on it, and I can feel that it strips.
Mm.
And if I could, I don't know how to like put into words, because like, I've been spending so much time working on the truck, and it's like I said, there's always been some little hurdle, and like when I felt that like strip out, the best thing I can say is like my soul almost left my body. Like my heart just sank. Like it was like a low, like just mentally, like I was just done. Like I was like, no, now I got to figure out how I got to get threads in my engine block. Do I put a helicoil? Do I tap it out, put a bigger bolt in? Can I put a bigger bolt in? And then I got looking at it and realized that so my timing chain guide, the little spacer thing, it came with a new spacer because everything's the same size. But anyways, the bolt that I had was original, and the spacer that belonged in there was thicker. So it only allowed the threads to go in one or two threads, or maybe two threads, maybe three. So it wasn't like it was seated all the way in. Once I discovered that, my soul came back in my body.
One caveat to that though is at least it like did that and not like get in there enough, tighten it down. And you're like, I think it's good. Then it vibrates out or busts out later on after you're done. So it's kind of a good thing that it happened the way it did, because it might have saved you later on.
Correct. True.
But I mean, I can understand the your soul leaving your body.
Right. I did. I literally was like just almost, head in hands, and then elbows on knees, and just sat there and was just like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I know what to do, but like, just like, no, this can't be happening.
I hear you. That's tough.
Right.
That's tough.
So luckily, luckily it was what it was, and I was able to work through it. So now I'm just sitting on doing covers and timing chain covers, valve covers, and start putting all the little pieces back together. And hopefully by our next episode, hopefully I have a running truck.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Then we could put this series to bed.
Correct. And then we can start moving on to hunting stuff.
The actual hunting stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy summer. It's been so hot.
Well, that too.
It's been so hot. It's been hard. I mean, need to be spending our evenings at the river or something, taking a little dip.
Taking it easy.
Taking it easy, yeah. But actually, should probably take that advice a little more than what I do. But yeah, man, it's been crazy. But I mean, we're still plugging away. It's all part of the struggling hunters, and
right.
And like you kind of alluded to earlier, kind of transition into one of our topics of where we are today as hunters compared to whenever we kind of started this podcast, and
right.
That's what you were talking about earlier, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever we started the podcast, and that's I just I guess whenever we started, I mean, there was I think for both of us, our minds thought we were gonna be somewhere else than where we've been, but then at the same time, like all the growing pains it's been a good thing.
Right. Well, like, we started and I know we've probably talked about it some in the past, but you grow up hunting and you kind of just assume you're a hunter. I mean, I don't want to take it away from anyone that's maybe growing up hunting and saying you're not a hunter, but like, trying to, I guess in a way we've more or less said we want to be better hunters. And what am I trying to get at? We put it out there that this is something we want to get better at. And yeah, we kind of thought ourselves as hunters before, and we still are. But, you know, trying to become better at something, there's a lot of growing pains. And when you want to get better at it, it kind of hurts more when you aren't progressing at a better speed. But how do you really progress? How do you say if you're a better hunter or not? Is it based off of the grab and grins on horns?
Well, I think that's where we kind of base ourselves at, right? Like
Right.
a little bit, like even if we try not to, because I mean we're doing everything that everybody else is doing for the most part, you know.
Right.
And I mean, last year I had a you know, I was in front of, I had the success right in front of me.
Right.
You know, and I messed it up. I missed the elk, and but I did get my doe.
Right.
So I filled one tag.
Right.
But
I got my turkey.
You got your turkey, so you filled the tag. So we've had our success, but it's like because we've been chasing these elk for so long and haven't had the success on elk that we've hoped for. I think that's what we've been
trying to find what that ratio of success is. Like, how do you consistently get there, right? I guess is what we're doing.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, we
measure ourselves too.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say, is like that's what we've been measuring ourselves to, is if we get an elk or not.
Correct. But like, you know, yeah. And so, and like, I'll get back to like, you know, we were putting ourselves out there as these hunters, but at the same time, in a way, we were putting ourselves out there to better ourselves too. Not just Eric's trying to fill another tag.
Yeah, I'm filling a fly tag. Honestly, I was gonna probably edit that out. I don't know. I might leave it in. I don't care. But
yeah. So, you know, trying to go back to who we are today now, like 2 years into it, 119 episodes. Some more hours in the woods and kind of what that. So I guess, who was Eric before Struggling Hunters compared to who is Eric today?
Well, I'm gonna be real transparent about that, because you know, I think that you can kind of fluff yourself up, if you will, like
right.
Like myself. Before we started Struggling Hunters, I thought that I was getting things done. I thought I was getting closer and closer every year. I was optimistic. I was like, oh, I'm a hunter. I do it all, you know. And then we had the bright idea of turning on a camera and recording ourselves. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, this is why like hate.
Uh-huh.
Like, well, I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
This is kind of going outside of it, but I'll bring it all back. How many thumbs downs do you ever put on a YouTube's?
Really, I don't think I ever did a thumbs down.
Have you ever like left a nasty comment?
No.
That's because most people that do that have never made content, and never probably will make content. Because once you make content, you kind of know, you're like, oh, these people kind of put themselves out there a little bit. And I mean, I guess it's all par for the course.
Right.
But for one, like, I mean, I'm just not that hateful. Like, actually, you know what? I put a thumbs down on one YouTube video.
Okay.
And it was from YouTube. Like 3 years ago, they do a end of the year like collaboration.
Okay.
This YouTube video, I think it was like 2019, maybe 2020. I can't remember what year it was, but it had like 10 million thumbs downs, and I just added to it. But anyway, it was like the worst like one that they ever did, and there was some reasons for it. But again, I'm kind of going away from the point. But so like whenever I first started, I mean, I was like, it was real simple. There was a couple reasons why I wanted to do it. a couple was like, oh, let's try our hand at YouTube and see where it goes, see if we get followers, see what happens there, you know, like that seems cool, you know, oh, born and raised, Hushin, you know, all these guys are like, oh, want to be like them a little bit, you know,
right,
do the thing, right? And I'm like, I feel like we can do it. I feel like we can get there. Turn on the camera and we just get, I mean, it's just, it's different because now you're like, oh, you know what, like I feel like I'm a really honest person, but I didn't realize how much I could fluff my own self.
right,
You know, like make my own self sound like a better hunter than what I am.
right.
And then I'm like, well, we're kind of recording everything. So now, but you know what though? Like there was a little bit of a, I will say, because we called ourselves the Struggling Hunters and there's a reason for that. When we called ourselves the Struggling Hunters, we wanted to kind of put it out there like, hey, you know, we're not trying to claim that we're professional hunters. We're saying we have our struggles and we're just trying to figure this thing out. So we kind of like put it in the name, like Struggling Hunters, you know, that's us.
We're going to be honest right up front.
Right, exactly. And sometimes I think that we focus on that a little too much, like focus on like, but
it's easy to talk about.
It is easy to talk about. And I think over time, like, I mean, the successful things that we've done over the last few years, I mean, it just seems like every year we get closer and closer because we've been learning and figuring it out and talking about this all the time. I really think it really sets in our minds a lot more. And so when we actually hit the field running on opening day, we kind of have more of a plan, even if it feels like sometimes we're like, I don't know where we're going exactly. Well, we kind of know where we're going, but we don't know what we're going to come across.
Right.
We don't know what we're going to see. But I feel like our preparation's getting better every year.
Right.
I feel like we're making the steps to get closer and closer to that success. And I mean, I feel like we're better, but definitely, even though that we kind of knew that we weren't like professional hunters and we weren't like the guys that, you know, we're going to get trophy bucks every year or whatever, I really feel like at the same time we kind of hoped for a little more success than what we've had.
Right.
And anyway, I don't know. I mean, it's been a ride. It's been a crazy ride. And I mean, I just hope that to you guys that are listening, you know, you guys just appreciate the transparency and the fact that, I mean, we're literally trying to build this from like the ground floor to where, you know, we don't have scouts on the back end or private property to go to. Like, we're literally trying to do the private land or private land.
Yeah, we're private. We got actually 100,000 acres out back here that we go on.
The public land. We're trying to do the public land, and with Joe moving to Colorado and the years prior, you know, Joe would be on one mountain range one year and then another mountain range. I've tried to stay on the same mountain range for the most part because I've just tried to learn the territory. And that was kind of my game plan was like, I think I've been on it one or two other times before we started the podcast. And all I've been trying to do is like, I've decided that I'm going to make this mountain range kind of my home base and I want to get to know it the best I can and learn off of it. And that's been kind of my going. And I feel like I get better and better every year. I feel like I come across more and more animals every year. And I feel like I'm getting close to success. And Joe, I mean, he's had to change mountain ranges every year. And I think that brings a challenge, right? Because it's a new mountain range every year. When you were in Utah.
Right. And I've been hunting it. I don't know if it's the smart way or what, but like, you know, I was told on some areas where to hunt. And I've been trying to hunt those ones and get to understand that. That's why it's been so. In the areas I've been hunting, I've only been allowed to do spike or cow because it's a big bull limited entry area. But they allow me to go in with my tag for a spike or a cow. So I've been hunting those areas and then switching mountain ranges to at least try to go for an any bull, and it was been kind of rough because last year I actually got into some big bulls on this limited entry hunt that I can only hunt spikes or cows.
See, yeah, and that, like, we always joke. Well, I mean, we made the joke probably on the podcast too, but we always joke like, You get a cow tag and all you see is big bulls. You get a bull tag and all you see is cows. So you get a buck tag, all you see is doe.
Right. And then like, going back to learning, like we've talked about. So with Eric, he came out opening weekend with me on my hunt last year, and we actually had a cow come in with a calf, and being new and man, like not new, but just not patient. And we should have, I know we talked about it before, but I'm trying to keep reiterating myself to slow myself down. It didn't know we were there until we tried to make a move on it. And I was only going to make a move on it because it had a calf, so I wasn't going to shoot it, but I was just going to practice. And we should have waited. Like, we should have seen if something else followed that cow and calf up.
It probably would have been a good idea.
Right, but instead we went, oh, there's an elk. Let's at least try to put a play on it.
Yeah, but I will say, though, there was a couple caveats there because the weather was turning on us, sort of. And, well, I think it actually started getting better toward the end. But it was starting to get dark, so it was kind of like all or nothing, right? Like,
right.
And so, and then, man, yeah, I'm glad of the outcome.
No, right. Me too.
And the other thing, too, is, like, I don't think you should beat yourself up too much about that because we would have actually had a beat on that cow if the wind didn't swirl. And, I mean, there's nothing you can do about the wind swirling. So...
No.
If that wind wouldn't have swirled, like you said, you weren't going to shoot it anyway, but you wanted the practice. And I think that, like, you could have done it easy.
Right.
Because that wind swirled the way it did. Because that was so confusing because we were both laying down and then you were like, I saw you look up at me and I think you might have said like, oh, it's taking off or whatever. And then I like popped my head up and all I saw was, I never did see the calf until it ran away. And whenever I saw the calf, I'm like, yeah, we can't shoot that thing.
Right.
Made me feel bad that we were even trying, but
right.
But I guess we were just wanting to test our skills and see where we were at. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of success though, because we got 30 yards away from it, if that.
Yeah, probably a little more than that, but yeah.
You think it was a little more than that?
Yeah.
But it, the wind swirled and she caught us and.
Right, because we were quiet. She didn't. We were below like the ridge or the sight line, so we couldn't have been seen. Maybe she heard us, but. I think the wind was at our necks, blowing back down towards her when she took off. So
yeah, and the weather was just bad that night.
We had hail and stuff. That was when we saw the bucks, right?
Yeah, some of the biggest bucks we've ever seen. I forgot about those bucks.
Yeah.
Those bucks might have been the biggest bucks I've ever seen, but they were so far away it's hard to tell.
Right.
But they were huge.
They were huge.
I wish we would have had tags for those. Yeah, see, like that, like we were hunting for elk, and then we. I mean, I don't know, what were they, like 1,500 yards or something, probably? Yeah. I mean, they were quite a ways away, and some of the biggest bucks we ever seen were like, you got to be kidding me. Like, here we are, hunting for a cow or a spike, and then we see these monster bucks, and it's like, oh, why don't we have deer tags? But
so we have been seeing success. We just haven't got the grab and grins yet.
Right,
well,
yeah.
I mean, not, I guess, let's take it back, because like you said, you had your doe tag. You filled it. I had a turkey tag last spring, or not, like last spring, 2021. Both of us had success in that year.
Yeah, and hopefully we have more success this year. I mean, it just didn't quite happen the way we thought, and I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta take with a grain of salt, like what's happening. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't quite what we thought, but we've had our success.
Well, definitely, like, one of the things, too, is, like, trying to clue into what those that are having success every year, what that looks like for them. What are they doing to get that success? And trying to mirror that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, I mean, that you can't really deny is we both have full-time jobs. And
true.
And we're... we got to take off time of work and, because some of these guys get full 6-day hunts, full month hunts, whatever it is, full 2-week hunts. And, you know, the guys that were watching and
Right.
and a lot of the time, even in their video, they'll say, they're like, you know, I was out here for 6 days straight and it was the last day and finally something came in. And, you know, for me and you, sometimes we're just like weekend warriors because we have our responsibilities.
Right.
And, you know, it is what it is. So, but I don't know, man. I feel like we're getting better and better, and I think everything is going to come around. I feel like I kind of took the floor for a little bit, but I kind of want to flip that same question on you. Like where do you think you are today from where you started?
So so thinking on that, kind of when Struggling Hunter started, I'd been into archery hunting for a year, I think, maybe 2. And so my ways of hunting have started to change. So I have yet to get an elk. I've been hunting elk, I think, for 9 years now, so I'm due. Due as far as time goes. But my way of thinking and looking, like, what I look at where I'm hunting, you know, has changed. Before, you know, I just got to be in the woods. That's kind of was my mentality. I didn't really know what to do, like, you know, what to do, meaning what areas should I be looking at, you know. Yeah. So, and now it's like, you know, okay, I've created a checklist, you know, it's like, okay, I want to get as far away from the roads as possible, north facing slopes, water, is the feed good? You know, so I've started creating a checklist, whereas before it was more or less, I'm just, you know, going out and looking. I don't know what else to do. So, you know, like I was, you know, kind of, yeah. So I've changed and trying to come up with a plan on where to be and actually, you know, think, you know, where would the elk be? Not just, I got my bow in my hand. I'm putting in exaggeration 20 miles today, you know, which I think, you know, there is something to be said for that, but understanding too, like being humble and saying, I don't see anything in here, I'm going to back out and go someplace else, versus spending the whole day in an area in hopes you see something because you're in the woods.
Because you're trying to make it happen.
Correct.
Which, that's something that I feel like we kind of implemented more last year than probably years prior. Like, that was kind of our new thing, was like, if we're not seeing sign, why are we wasting time?
Right.
I wish that rhymed a little better, then it could be a slogan, but...
Right. Work on that.
I'll work on that. No, but I mean, you know, because I definitely did that. I mean, even if I would look at my Onyx, and if I had a... Ooh, we're going long. If I had a spot to go, like, I'm like, okay, I want to go to this point. If going into that point, I'm like, I'm not seeing sign, I'm backing out, thinking of another place to go. Like, I mean, it was just as simple as that, because I don't want to waste the energy. I don't want to waste the time.
Right.
You know, I got limited time to hunt. I got limited time to get it done, so why waste the time? Maybe it was the wrong choice, but if I'm not seeing sign, what am I doing?
Right.
So... I was kind of proud of that. Like, that's proud of, like, letting go of my, kind of trying to not get in my own way, if you will.
Correct.
So yeah, I don't know. I really like that plan of just not seeing sign, or if you're not seeing sign, just to back out. And I mean, I think it's a good teller, too. I mean, you know, you'll know if elk have been in there or not, because they leave sign right behind
Correct.
them, you know?
Correct. And realizing too is, you know, like how nomadic elk are, like, you know, they got to eat, I think it was like 20 pounds of feed a day. So, like, you know, it's not like the mountains are a hillside full of alfalfa, so they can just stay within. They got to roam to be able to get their feed, and their legs are long so they can cover distance. So, you know, that's one of the things that I've just kind of picked up on is, like you said, there'll be sign, and then they're going to move too, like, you know, but man, since I talk about these things at the same time, I'm like, but if the area is good, they don't have to move, but man, you got to find that area where it's good for them.
That's one thing with rifle season. I feel like rifle season, like they get pushed around so hard and everything.
Right.
And, I mean, yeah. I feel so like during archery, I feel like when archery, because there's not loud bangs and everything all the time. I could be wrong about this thought, but I do feel like there's a little bit of a elk might stay in a spot a little bit longer or hold tighter because maybe they're not getting pressured the same way that they do during the rifle season.
Right.
I still believe, even though the archery has gotten a lot more popular, I still kind of believe that rifle season takes the cake. Just my limited experience. I mean, I have very limited experience, and I'll be honest with that. But my limited experience, just hunter for hunter, it seems like I've seen more rifle hunters during rifle seasons than I do during
right
archery season. So I just don't think that they're. I just don't think that they're getting pushed as hard in the archery season. And I could be wrong about that, but my point to that though is like a couple years ago, during the rifle season, and we heard shots all the time.
Right, we did.
But we never really seen too many elk.
No.
And we were really struggling with that, like trying to get into the elk, and I think that they were just getting pushed way further than where we were, which is something like for the struggling hunters one of these days, because we do most everything by our vehicle or foot, and I'm like, man, it would really be nice to have a side-by-side or something to just get from point A to point B.
Right.
You know, instead of trying to always walk that distance or cover that distance by foot, just get there a little bit quicker so we're not wasting energy and time.
True.
I really feel like that's that's kind of the caveat where I try to think. I'm like, man, it's great to do 20 miles a day. I mean, sure. But if I'm not getting nothing at 20 miles a day, like now am I just wasting all my energy,
Right, yeah.
And it's just something to think about,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all the calories in the world ain't gonna help you recover. No. And like, we're in our later 30s, and there's just stuff that you got to think about a little bit more.
Right.
I mean, at least for me, I mean, I know you're made of steel and sex appeal, so it's a little different for you. But,
well.
For me, I mean, I'm just a regular guy,
You're more than that.
So, no, but I think about all that stuff, you know, and it's not that I'm trying to be lazy or nothing, but I'm trying to hunt with a purpose. And part of that purpose is not wasting all my energy. Even last year, whenever I walked and walked for miles and miles, and there was a point where I was trying to get further than where I was, but I just felt it. My body was just like, you're tired, dude. You need to refuel. and it was crazy because I stopped, I drank some water, pulled out some snacks, got some snacks in me, and probably sat around for 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. I don't know. Just sat around for a while. I think I was trying to charge I had a little solar panel phone charger thing, battery bank charger. And so I was trying to charge my phone and stuff. Anyways, I was doing the whole thing but whenever I was done and after I got the food and drank some water and stuff, like I could feel my body like, thank you, now let's go. So I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Like sometimes you can feel that stuff, sometimes it sneaks up on you and you don't realize it, but I feel like it's important to do all that stuff with a purpose.
Right.
And so, I don't know. That's about all I got. What about you?
Yeah. I had a thought as we were talking, but I lost the thought.
I talked you right out of it.
You talked me. Yeah. You made it leave.
My bad.
I can't remember what it was, but I mean, and we talk about going forever, but we can share stories about not going that far off the road and finding success.
Well, that's the thing that confuses me sometimes is because, it's like, oh, get miles and miles away from the road. And then you're like, the biggest buck I ever seen in my life was 20 feet off the road.
Right. Right.
So, I don't know. I just feel like the animals are going to be wherever they are, and sometimes you could try to do all the right things.
But at the same time, you ain't gonna see them sitting at home on your couch.
Well, that's true. You got to be in the woods.
Yeah.
And that's the number one key. And the more you're in the woods, the more you see, the more things that you come across. It is what it is. I mean, you got to be out there doing it, and you got to be learning, I feel like me and you, that's probably the other thing that we've put an uptick in, though, is making sure that we're out in the woods a lot more than we used to be.
Right.
Which has probably helped us with the success that we have had. And so,
yeah,
I think it's all working its way somewhere, but I don't know. I'm proud of where we are. I mean, it's not exactly where I wanted to be. I was hoping that, we'd carry our trophies on our back every podcast and be like, this is my trophy. And you'd be like, this is my trophy. And, and like, I don't know. That's what I thought we would be. But it really hasn't worked out that way. But, I think we've had success in other ways. And I don't know. Any final thoughts?
I'll do a final thought, and I won't say no.
I was wondering where that was going to go.
Yeah, trying to think of a closing statement to kind of put it all together, but it's takes work, and you just got to be out there. How's that?
Sounds pretty good. It's almost like that's what we talked about the whole time.
Oh, shoot.
No, I'm just kidding. No, that was good. I was just messing with you. No, it's true. Just be out there all the time, and the more you're out there, the more you'll see. Sometimes you stumble up across things and get lucky.
True.
And, the other night we weren't asking to run into all the or I guess it's been 2 weekends ago.
Yes.
But we weren't asking to run across all the animals that we've seen, and I mean, they just were showing themselves all night long.
Yeah, we weren't trying. So. We were not trying. We were able to see them.
We should probably hunt with the same approach, just not even try.
Yeah, don't try.
Don't try.
Just give up. Don't even get out of the truck.
Yeah.
Just
don't even
leave your bow at home.
Yeah, just leave it at home.
Shoot.
Might as well.
Yeah.
You'll
run into another hunter that lets you borrow their bow.
Yeah, just borrow their bow and be like, hey, let me borrow that. I just saw a trophy bull.
Yeah, don't you see that right there? No, okay, let me shoot it.
I mean, might as well.
I don't care if it's in the back of your truck.
Yeah, who cares?
Right? It's my tag.
All right, guys. Well, my final thought is that thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Listening to us jumble through that, and I think we had some good stuff to share for sure. But make you think a little bit, or at least makes us think, or talk it out at least. But with that said, guys, appreciate you guys watching and listening to another week of the Struggling Hunters podcast. We appreciate everything, all the support that you guys have given us. Hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if this is the first time listening to us. That would be great if you did. And also leave a comment on our podcast platform. Help us grow. Share the podcast with some people. That'd be cool too. Thanks for all your support again. And the Struggling Hunters are out of here.
Bye.
No, really, we're gone.
See ya.